This is the truth. Where does it end?
Hey Hellraiser, have no fear. I'm here to protect thee. What's up Hellraiser? Welcome to the Omen franchise review. There are 4 movies in this entire franchise. 4. You got part 1, which is the 1976 version, Damien Omen 2, the Omen 3, the Final Conflict, the remake crap. Oh, I literally forgot part, what is that, 4, the Awakening? Just wait till we get to that. But with all that in mind, let's talk about 1976 classic. This movie tells a story about a family, an older family who decided that they wanted to have a child, and little by they know the child that they're about to have is not what they're expecting and not what they're looking for. They just might have the son of the Antichrist, the devil himself. Let's review The Omen. So The Omen is one of those films that stick with you the once you see it. If you see it one time, it stays with you because of all the stuff that's happening in the movie. And to me, it's one of those films that I saw at a very young age, and honestly, this is one of those films that just aged like fucking gold. I mean, this movie looked good for the time period it came out in 1976. Right here in 2023, to me, this movie is damn near flawless. And it will make some of these horror movies today look like fucking milk. Terrible. Set things off with the pro, and honestly, this movie has no cons, at least for me. It's a perfect film, in my own opinion. So let me just tell you my first pro. So my first pro with this movie would have to be how understated this movie is. Not knowing what's going on or who Damien is or who people think he is and all of that. I think that the movie does a good job at trying to make this be an evil child movie, but then it turned out to be something completely different. The more and more you watch, the more and more this movie unfolds and the mystery surrounding Damien himself. We'll get more to that a little bit later on. But understated. Well, it shows you stuff, but then it don't show you so much. It's just a story that it's telling you. And you have to basically sit there and just watch how this bad boy unfolds. And that's why I like the Omen so much. It's because the story that is in front of your eyes and you watching all this chaotic just unfold around this child. And that pro I would have to touch on is the opening scene when the nanny literally said, "Look at me, Damien. It's all for you." To me, when I first saw that scene, I'm like, what the fuck did I just witness? She literally jumped off top of the roof of the building, had a rope wrapped around her neck, and she jumped off, all because it was all for Damien. So from right there, this movie doesn't let up. From that scene, it grabs you by the throat and just drags you by the throat and takes you through this horrific thriller ride that you will truly never see coming. There are going to be major spoilers out this entire review, so you've been warned. But like I said, this movie grabs you by the throat, and just from there on, from that scene when the nanny jumped off the top of the roof of that building with the rope around her neck, from there on out, this movie is a fucking straight up intensity bloodbath. Not a bloodbath as you think, but more of like a thriller ride that you would never be expecting. Another pro for me, I already touched on it in my first pro, but right here, this is one of those films that never lets up. This movie does not let you process or breathe for a second. The moment that nanny jumped off the fucking building and broke her own neck and went inside the window and all that stuff, from there on out, this movie intensity is raised all the way up, and this movie doesn't give you a second to process what you just witnessed the nanny do. This is where the movie just goes like full force. And this movie is insane. When it comes down to the intensity, this is one of those films where you can truly say you felt the intensity while you're watching the film. Especially if you watch this movie for the first time, you will feel unease at times. You'll feel like your heart rate is beating way too fucking fast. Another pro for me would have to be the intensity and the event and the horrific thing that's happening around Damien. Now, as I said earlier in the review, where I said that this movie is about an evil child. Technically, Damien is not really doing anything. He's just there to provide the look. That's all he is. But most people think of evil child movie. They think of something like Pet Cemetery or The Orphan and shit like that. They think about kids going around killing people. But in this movie, there is not nobody killing anybody. At least not Damien. See, Damien is just there to provide the look. And this is where the intensity come in at. See, the events around Damien is what makes you afraid of Damien, because everything around him is just weird shit happening. People are dying left to right. Weird things start to happen. A dog show up in the middle of nowhere, and a nanny shows up in the middle of nowhere. We'll get more on Mrs. Baylock in just a second, but like I said, the intensity and the event that surrounding Damien is what makes you feel this child. And you ask yourself, who is this kid? Is he the Antichrist? And let's talk about the iconic role of Mrs. Baylock. Man, this is one creepy ass nanny. The moment that she came on the scene, and when she first saw Damien, the first thing that she said was, "Have no fear, little one. I'm here to protect thee." And as soon as she said that, I said, that bitch is bad fucking news. That bitch is going to be something that I'm gonna have to keep my eyes on, because the bitch ain't normal. She's not normal. And I was right. The person who portrayed her, I forgot her name, but she did such a fantastic job at being that creepy ass nanny. Because the moment you see her, when she first saw Damien and she said what she said, and the look in her face, right there, you already knew it's something up with that nanny. And another fault for me would have to be all the death that's surrounding Damien in this movie is some of the most iconic and the most horrific death scenes you would ever see. And now this is from 1976, people, okay? Keep that in mind, 1976. There is a lot of death. And one of my favorite movie death on screen will have to be from this specific movie right here, which is the head decapitation scene. To me, that scene is so suspenseful. You know it's about to happen. You don't know how he's gonna die, but you know that dude's gonna get hit. Because as soon as somebody started investigating Damien, they trying to find out who he is and what he's about and what he owns, what do you think happened? They get killed. And that is exactly what happened to this guy. But what makes it so iconic for me is that the suspense and the build-up that led to it. And as soon as dude turns around, his head comes clean off. Another pro for me will have to be also ahead of his time in 1976 is the picture taking. So this photographer, spoiler, if you haven't heard me say that yet, but anyway, this photographer would take pictures. And every time he takes pictures, he would go back to his lab and develop the pictures. And inside the picture would indicate how someone is about to die. And every single picture shows some type of image or some type of struggle of how that person's gonna die. When the preacher get impaled with the spear from off the top of the church, even his scene where his head get decapitated, and so much more. In 1976 technology, but that picture taking, that was ahead of its time. Nowadays, when you see that stuff in movies, it's just movie quotes. It's shit that you've already seen done several times. But in 1976, that was new technology for the people at that time period. Not to mention, this movie, when it first came out, a lot of people were getting really scared. A lot of people didn't even want to name their kid Damien because of this movie. And I can truly see why. So for me, it will have to be the score of this movie, the music, which is the score. This movie, as soon as this movie opened up, there's the iconic theme. I can't play it because of YouTube, but the iconic theme, you know it when you hear it. If you were asleep and somebody came in your room and started playing that, it would scare the shit out of you. Literally. I don't want to hear this shit when I'm waking up or in the fucking hospital. Don't play that creepy shit when I'm asleep or in the hospital. It'll fuck my head up mentally and physically. But like I said, that iconic theme, you know it when you hear it. This whole movie has so intense theme not things but music throughout the entire movie. There is scenes that raise the intensity of what's happening on the screen. There's also a lot of scenes in the movie that make the music even amp up even higher, and that's why I love this movie score so much. Because as soon as you hear, you get goosebumps all over your entire body. Another pro for me, and my last pro, will have to be Gregory Peck's performance in this movie. Is what brings this movie to life, alongside with the little boy that played Damien in this film, and what's her name? Lee Wemmick or something. Like I said, the performance in this movie, everybody's performance in this movie is what brings this movie to life. But Gregory Peck, boy, let me tell you something. I can truly see why he is considered one of the greatest actors of all time. You can truly see that this man owned that. And his performance in this movie is what really keeps you invested in this film. Because seeing him having to investigate on what's happening to his son, and all of a sudden, he has to make the heartbreaking decision to kill his own son just because his son is the Antichrist. And the big reveal that he has to go through when he finally found out that who his son really was, when he went in his son's room and cut a piece of his hair off and he saw 666 in his son's head, that's when he knew, holy shit, I have to do this in order enough to save humanity, to save my family, and so on and so forth. And as soon as you get to the end of that movie, he takes his son in this church. He had these daggers, about to stab his own son with these daggers. That's when he gets shot, and Damien lived on. My overall thought is that The Omen from 1976 is just one of those films, like I said before, I said again, I started at a very young age, and it stuck with me over the years. It made me become even more and more invested on who is this Antichrist and what he's about, and more. And that's when Damien Omen 2 comes in. Make sure y'all stay tuned for that review, because that's also one of my favorites. So my grade for this movie will have to be a straight up A+. It's just one of those films that I watched at a very young age and I truly enjoyed it. So that's going to pretty much wrap up today's Pacific review. If you want to get in touch with your boy, what is it? All my social media link is in the description down below. But just before I let you go, make sure you drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on that damn bell notification so that way when I drop another creepy ass video, you'll be the first one to get it. And as I said in all my other videos, stay creepy, stay spooky, and I'll catch you Hellraisers in the next video.